Hi everyone, and welcome to EDEL 251. I'm Dr. Angeloni, and I'll be your professor this semester. I'm going to be reviewing your syllabus, and I'm doing this in a program called Edpuzzle. So you need to be paying attention because every so often a question will pop up, and it'll be multiple choice, and your grade will be recorded for class participation. So it's only worth a few points, but be prepared for that. Okay, so starting with my office hours are on Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday they're a little longer than on Thursday. The best way to get a hold of me is by email, but of course you can call my office too. So we'll kind of skim through the childhood education mission statement and the catalog description. I'll let you read those on your own, and as well as the course overview. Within the course overview, I link to the standards, and we'll discuss those in just a minute too, but mainly we'll be covering the Ohio standards for the teaching profession, as does every education course in different ways. And then we'll also be covering the Ohio standards in general, as well as the technology standards, and then the main overarching technology standards, which are the ISTE standards, the International Society for Technology and Education. And the whole course is organized around those standards, which is where the Ohio standards are derived. There's no textbook for this course, so you don't have to worry about buying one. The materials that you need are access to a computer. I'd recommend bringing a laptop if you don't have one. We will be in a lab. Cohen 190 is a lab classroom, so there are computers available. You'll also need to know how to get to Canvas, which I'm assuming you will since you'll be here watching this through Canvas. The internet, which shouldn't be a problem, and you'll also need a Google account. But you should also know that we're going to be signing up for lots of different accounts. All of them are free, but you'll be putting your information out there. You're more than welcome at the end of the course to delete any accounts that you make, but you know, this is what we do in education now. There's no longer software to purchase and load onto your computer. You're just signing up for free accounts. Some of the accounts are pay more for more features, but we'll just be using the free features. So even though we don't have a textbook, you'll still have readings and reflections due almost every session. So make sure that you're checking the modules on Canvas. I know different instructors use Canvas in different ways. I use the module feature, and each ISTE standard has multiple modules underneath it, but each one has all the links for the day. So you'll get used to it. It has an agenda, and then it has links to any other parts of Canvas that you need to go to. So go to the modules to see what you need to do for the next day. Ooh, I need to remove this part. Good thing I'm in the live document. You no longer need a TaskStream subscription. So that was something you had to pay for, and you don't need it. So I'll remove that. Here's Canvas. I would also make sure in notifications in Canvas that you get announcements through Canvas as an email. I send a lot of announcements, and if you don't have it set up to email you, then you could miss them. So make sure you do that. Also, some of our class sessions, like today, won't meet face-to-face. I think it makes sense. This is a technology course, so sometimes it's not needed, and sometimes I just want to make use of some of the technologies without meeting face-to-face. But please note that just because we don't meet face-to-face does not mean that we won't meet at the same time. So once in a while, we'll have live class sessions at 8:30 a.m., but on your computer. So you won't have to leave your apartment or your dorm, but you can't sleep in. So don't schedule something else if it's an online session unless you know for sure that it's asynchronous, which means you can do it anytime you need to. Some of them will be synchronous, which means still at 8:30. Okay, so the Ohio standards for the teaching profession, should make sure you get to know these. This is how EdTPA is organized for your student teaching. And this is what Ohio expects you to know and be able to do by the time you're finished with your program here. The ISTE standards for educators, this is how I organize the class: learner, leader, citizen, collaborator, designer, facilitator, and analyst. And please note that these are the ISTE standards for educators. So this is what educators should be able to do. Of course, one of those covers that you should know and be able to teach the ISTE standards for students, but they are two different sets of standards. They're pretty similar, and we'll look at them, I think, in the next session. Course outcomes are listed here. And then you'll see a list of our assignments. The digital story assignment will be one of the first things we do. It's worth 20 points. The PLN is Personal Learning Network assignment. You'll get more information on that soon. It's worth 50 points, and it's ongoing throughout the semester, and then you turn in what you've done throughout the semester at the end. Your community collaborative lesson plan and blended lesson plan in Schoology are two of the major assignments, and we'll work a lot on those in class. Community collaborative is with a group. Blended lesson is on your own, and we'll go out into a school and teach that. Attendance, and then everything that goes along with being there, participating in class activities, are worth 50 points. And then your homework, reading, and reflections are worth about 50 points. I give about 2 points for each homework assignment. And then your final will be a digital portfolio that we're going to create on a blog. And you'll put some final reflections on that as a way to wrap up the class, and that will be turned in online during finals week. There are no makeup for in-class activities, so if you're not there, you don't get the points for attendance, obviously, and class activities. There's a description of each letter grade. Policies, so professionalism, professional behavior is expected for all teachers. So of course I expect that in this class. You should attend all class meetings and you should be there on time. I know it's an early class, but schools start early too, so it's time to start getting used to that. If you're more than 5 minutes late or you leave early, you're going to get half points for attendance. And if you are going to be late or not late, well, either way, if you're going to be late or absent, please let me know beforehand. And more than 2 absences, obviously you'll lose points, but more than 2 can result in a failure. At that point, you're not going to be able to meet all of the objectives of the class without participating in the class activities. If you have something come up and you need an extended medical or family emergency absence, then you need to contact Dr. Long, and he'll set that up, and he'll actually email your professors and let them know, so that you can have extended time or whatever you need to get through that time. And there's another expectation to make sure, obviously, you prepare completely for each class. Like I said, you'll have readings before most classes or something to do. You should be, using proper grammar, mechanics, spelling, and all of your work, even if it's just a discussion board post, although I understand that the language will be a little more casual. But I do have high standards for written assignments that you turn in. I am offering 1 redo on an assignment during each semester, so except for obviously the final. So if you get a poor grade on one of your major assignments and you'd like to redo, you have 1 chance to do that. So please come and see me. I also, in the past, have been sent a lot of work beforehand to look at. I'm not going to do that any longer, but if you want me to look at work before it's turned in for a major assignment, I'm happy to do that if you come to office hours so we can sit down and look at it together. I think that's much more fruitful than me spending time looking at it at home and emailing you a lot of feedback. So just make sure you do that and give yourself enough time to come to office hours on Tuesday or Thursday. Again, make sure you're always checking Canvas before class. Everything will be on Canvas. I don't provide any hard copies, once in a while. But if you need to print anything, you can print it in the CLC, but also there's a printer right outside our classroom that you can print from. Interact professionally. I expect you to be courteous, kind, keep an upbeat attitude during class. And also, this is a technology class, and I don't mind phones being out. I don't mind laptops being open. We use Canvas for almost everything, so they should be open most of the time. But no non-academic uses during class, so you shouldn't be switching back and forth from your messaging app. So if you need to close it down, do that. I know it's hard because I just got pinged on my watch, and it's hard not to get distracted by that. So shut down the non-academic things, but I don't mind you having your phone, and if you take notes on your phone, that's fine. Assignments are due on the date noted on the syllabus, and it'll also be in Canvas. And any assignment should be done by midnight the night before. I get up early in the morning and I check over homework before we get to class. So don't do it 5 minutes before class, or you won't get the 2 points. If anything is late, you get 5 points off per day. So just make sure you get it in quickly, because that adds up fast. Here's all the standard student support, the Office of Academic Support for tutoring, supplemental instruction, study groups, students with disabilities. Be sure that you contact me, if you have accommodations, and make sure you contact Cassandra Jones, and she'll send an official letter to us for what accommodations we need to do. There's also a newer Office of Student Success, so you should have Sarah Brinkergood as your success coach. So she's there to help with all sorts of things. If you need anything, she'll direct you to the right place. And then there's a writing center and a mathematics tutoring lab, although you won't be doing much math in this class. Be honest. So we value academic honesty, and it's expected that you'll submit original work. And I don't think I should have to say that, especially to future teachers, but it's very tempting with all that's out there on the internet. So just make sure that you're doing this all on your own. Okay, I have the class calendar here. So you'll see whatever assignment is here, it'll either have a due date or it'll be assumed that it's due before this class period. I think most of it's pretty standard. So you'll see here that we're having class online and asynchronous. That means we won't be meeting at the same time. So that's a day you can sleep in, and you'll be able to do your class work sometime before the next session. But here we're meeting on Zoom. That will be online, but it will be at the same time that we normally meet. So just make sure you're paying attention with that. You can see that this is a live document I'm working with because I deleted something earlier. And I just use a link to this from Canvas. So I'll make updates to this as we go, and I'll also make updates to Canvas. So just know that, if we don't cover something the way I want to in one session, I might bump it back. But I'll always, here's another mistake. I'll always update it in both places. All right. Okay, I think that's about it. I look forward to meeting you on Thursday. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you today. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the online activities this week.